Hey guys, there are cards in Pokemon TCG Pocket that either got really hurt or really benefited from our newest expansion. So let's take a look at the biggest losers and the biggest winners from Mythical Island. So let's start off by looking at the biggest losers, and one of the biggest losers in Mythical Island is Pincurchin. Pincurchin just straight up got replaced by a better version of it. So why is that? Pincurchin was never played for its high HP pool or because it did deal a lot of damage. It was played because for its ability to paralyze our opponent, and Dedenne just does this exact job for 1 energy less, and that's why Pincurchin just straight up got replaced. It was part of one of the best decks in the game, and it's now completely unplayable. Another card that kinda suffered the same fate as Pincurchin is Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan was played as a wall and to spread a little bit of damage. It has 100 HP, which will buy you a turn or two, and it spreads some damage by flipping 2 coins, and for each heads you do 30 damage. So yeah, it will not only buy you a turn or two due to his high HP pool and being a basic, but it also spreads some damage. Now, Dradigon though is just a better version of that. It also is a basic, it also has 100 HP, and every time it gets attacked, it deals 20 damage back to the opponent, which, yeah, you also spread damage. The upsides of Dradigon are though that the opponents hesitate to even attack it. So it is very likely that it will buy you 1 or 2 more turns than Kangaskhan did. And another huge thing is run retreat cost less than Kangaskhan, which makes it be able to retreat for free thanks to Leaf. And also, Dradigon does not need any energy attachment to spread that damage. It does it completely for free. And that's why Dradigon is just a better version of Kangaskhan and replaces it in every single deck it will be played. And another card that got really hurt by Mythical Island is Mewtwo, which also just straight up got replaced by Mew EX, as Mew EX does every job Mewtwo did, but better and more flexible. It has 1 retreat cost less, it has 10 HP more, his attack is cheaper and much more flexible. Also, you can add in a budding expeditioner to retreat Mew for free and even heal it, right? Mew is better in every way than Mewtwo was, but there's one downside to it, as Mew is an EX, so it would give up 2 prizes if it would get KO'd. But yeah, this 1 retreat cost less makes this not too much of a big deal, and so yeah, goodbye Mewtwo. And here come the big boys now. Articuno EX and Starmie EX. They did not just flat out get replaced by better versions of them, no, they completely and utterly got destroyed and lost their spot on top of a meta. So yeah, you can say this about every single water card that is not Gyarados or Greninja, but these two were the core part of a very, very successful deck on top of a meta, right? So having them completely gone and unviable now due to Gyarados and Greninja that is crazy to think about. But yeah, what can we do? It is what it is. Goodbye Articuno EX and goodbye Starmie EX. There is another duo of cards that were prevalent and very viable, and yeah, not right on top of the meta as Articuno and Starmie, but yeah, also a very strong force to be reckoned with, and they always did go together and were a core part of the best deck in their respective typing, which are Marowak EX and Sanchez. Now they're completely gone as well, because if you play a fighting type deck, that includes Golem and Marshadow. And yeah, Hitmonlee and stuff, but yeah, you get the point. Marowak EX and Sandslash are now completely unplayable because of this Golem, the Marshadow, the fact that Primeape got better, and so on and so forth. It is what it is. Goodbye Marowak EX, goodbye Sandslash. Moving on to the dark type duo Arbok and Mark. They are both also completely gone out of the meta, because if you play a dark type deck around Weezing right now, it includes Scolipede, and Arbok and Mug just fell into complete irrelevancy So goodbye Arborg and Mug. But now let's move on to two individual cards, which are Charizard EX and Venusaur EX. Let's talk about Charizard EX first. Now don't get me wrong, Charizard EX is not like completely unplayable or like dead or something, no. He still has somewhat of a spot in the meta, but is now very niche, as if you play a fire deck right now, that includes Arcanine, Moltres and Mew, all three EXs of course. If you play fire and you play Charizard, you're playing a little bit of a niche. So again, such as Starmie EX and Articuno EX, Charizard EX fell off a cliff and went from the top of the meta to barely playable, barely viable, and only having a little niche for itself, which is a big loser if you ask me. Venusaur on the other hand did not fall off of such a big cliff, because it never had that cliff to begin with. Venusaur EX was not on top of the meta or anything, but it was the premier stage 2 grass type evolution that you played. You usually played it within Exeggutor EX and stuff like this, but right now Venusaur EX is completely unplayable, and that's mainly due to Celebi. Right before it had contestants like a Victory Bell or something like that, stuff like this, but right now, if you play grass type deck, you play Celebi, Superior and Exeggutor EX. There's no way you would ever play Venusaur EX. That thing doesn't even have a niche anymore, and Venusaur EX is completely dead. So goodbye Venusaur EX. And those were like the biggest losers we had from Mythical Island. So let's now talk about the biggest winners. And since I just mentioned Exeggutor EX a bunch, let's talk about him first. He is a huge winner, because what held him back forever was the fact you have to pair him with mediocre stuff like the Victory Bell, like the Vileplume, or like that Venusaur EX. But right now, with Celebi and Superior, it is actually good partners to pair him with and to build a solid deck around him. So he can now work and really benefit from his biggest strength and shine, because his biggest strength is that he can buy your bench time. He has 160 HP, which is insane for stage 1. He can be healed by Erika, and he can spread a lot of damage for very little energy investment. And now there's something huge on the bench that you can set up. Venusaur EX was simply not enough, but now with Superior and Celebi, it is much more worth it to buy the time that Exeggutor can buy for these two compared to what Venusaur did, right? So huge winner here is Exeggutor EX, as he now can be played in a proper deck. Two other big winners here from Mythical Island are Moltres EX and Arcanine EX, because they now don't have to rely on their stage 2 Charizard EX to actually deal with the Mewtwo and other stuff. They can now simply put in this basic Mew EX to get the exact same job done. They already counter Pikachu, they already counter Celebi, and all they have to take care of basically is that Mewtwo EX. And now, as I just said, they don't need that Charizard anymore, because they now have Mew, which is a basic that needs less energy attachment to get the exact same job done. And that makes that deck a whole lot better, a whole lot more consistent, and that's why Moltres EX and Arcanine EX are huge winners. Speaking about huge winners and mentioning that Mew EX, it's time to talk about another big winner, which is Mewtwo EX. Mewtwo EX was already dominating the entire metagame together with Pikachu, and other than Pikachu though, the Mewtwo EX deck got huge buffs with Mythical Slap, with Blue, with Leaf, and Mew EX. I can't believe that the developers actually decided to buff Mewtwo EX that much, and I don't know what else to say. Just Mewtwo EX is a huge winner of this patch, which is unbelievable, but it is what it is. Welcome Mewtwo EX to Mythical Island, you will love it here. Another big winner, which comes as a little bit of a surprise, but it is actually Hitmonlee, because he survived the meta. He's got now a better deck with the Golem and the Marshadow than he had ever before with the Marowak EX and stuff. But there's also one huge other thing, and that is it is a huge counter to the Gyarados EX deck, which is a force to be reckoned with, and it is one of the best decks in the game. Gyarados EX and Pikachu EX are the two best decks right now in the game, and Hitmonlee is very strong against this Gyarados deck, because if you take a look at that deck list, it plays Magikarp on the bench, which Hitmonlee one-shots. It plays a Froakie on the bench, which Hitmonlee two-shots. And Hitmonlee does not need to worry about being attacked early by that deck, because it plays Druddigon as a wall, and Druddigon does never attack, and Hitmonlee also does never attack the Druddigon, so Druddigon's ability is completely useless against Hitmonlee. It is a big counter to this Gyarados deck, which makes Hitmonlee so much better than it was ever before. But that is not all. Also, against Pikachu, they don't play the Pincurchin anymore, as they right now play the Dedenne, which Pincurchin had 70 HP, which would Hitmonlee take 3 attacks to take it down, but now the Dedenne only has 60 HP and Hitmonlee two-shots also that one. So yeah, again, Hitmonlee got an incredible buff due to how good he is against the top tier decks, especially that Gyarados deck. So yeah, Hitmonlee will have a nice day on Mythical Island. Before we move on to our supporters and trainer cards, we have to talk about the biggest winner that Mythical Island has, and that is by far the Greninja. Greninja went from being completely irrelevant and almost never seen play. It was just a thing that was played like just for fun, you know. It was completely unplayable and outclassed by other cards, but right now it went from this little just for fun niche to being in the best deck that the game has to offer right now. As I've mentioned before, Gyarados EX and Pikachu EX are the two best decks in the game, and Greninja became a part of one of the best decks in the game, from being completely unplayable to being on top of the meta. Like that is the definition of a winner, if you ask me. Winning, like going from unplayable to the very top of the meta. That is insane, and that's why Greninja is not only here on this list, but is the biggest winner that Mythical Island has brought up. So let's now talk about the 2 supporter cards. Spoiler alert, it's gonna be 2 supporter cards that actually improved due to Mythical Island. And yeah, one of those supporter cards is Brock. It went from completely unplayable, like it was really kind of a meme as to how bad Brock was, and now he's in a very solid deck. It has now become part of a mediocre to good deck with this Golem, Hitmonlee and Marshadow deck. So congratulations Brock, your time to shine has come now. And Misty is our second supporter that got better, which is kind of unbelievable. But it is what it is. Yeah, Misty was played together with the Articuno EX. Articuno EX was its primary target, and that was already quite strong. But now Misty got a so much better target, like it's kind of not even comparable how much better Gyarados is than Articuno EX. So yeah, Gyarados EX needs 4 energies to do its job, and if Misty just flips a heads or 2 on Gyarados is completely out of control. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how to put it into words how broken this is and how much better Misty got. It is unbelievable that Misty even got better than she already was. But yeah, right now it's completely out of control and it's dominating the meta game. So yeah, congrats Misty, I guess. So there we have it. Those were the biggest winners and the biggest losers from our Mythical Island expansion. If you like Pokemon TCG Pocket content in general, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a follow, I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and bye bye.